going live.
Oh, that's better.
We're going live. We're doing it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Man.
My hair looks good. Can't even see it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if your hair looks good or not. Can't even see it.
So I went out fishing today.
Yeah?
Nice.
What is going on?
Dude.
Are we
It's
allowed
like-
to go fishing these days?
Yeah, we are. It's crazy over there, man. A lot of people. A
Lot of people?
fishermen.
Yeah,
It's bad. Wait, are we live now?
I think so.
Oh, we're live.
Are we
I'm trying to
live?
pull it up here. I don't
see
know.
it. I see a
You
guy
guys can
named
hear us.
MK.
Let us know.
Can everyone hear us? Hello, hello.
I don't know. I can't. Maybe it's my thing, but it doesn't. Oh, here we go. Never mind. I think we're live.
Yeah, I think we're live. Normally we have a what's up, guys? Thanks for joining. Normally we have like a music intro and a standing image for the room to fill up, but this time we're kind of lazy. It's a Saturday. I don't even have pants on right now. I ain't gonna lie. Hey.
Me too.
But hey, I have my background working, and that's I'm carrying weight for all.
Yeah.
Look at us. It took 6 episodes for Adam to hide the fact that he's sitting in a bathroom, but big things, guys, big things. And I got a mic, so I don't sound like I'm in a bathroom. So, hey, look at us. Hey, look at us.
Yeah.
DW says, just sing-ish. Oh, we don't want to do that. We're trying to beat the 126 live attendees. That's our new record. Yeah, so we're going into this a little rough, but we got a big show for you guys today. Thanks again for coming in on a Saturday. We normally do this Friday. This is our first Saturday show, and it's at 6 o'clock because if all things work out well, we're going to have a guest coming in a few minutes, actually, and hopefully we'll bring him on, and we could talk a little bit, and I think you guys will like who we have. So we've really had like this awesome run of guests lately, and yeah, I mean, it's been big name YouTubers, Senko Skipper. We even had Outdoor Chef Life and PK, who kind of interrupted the Outdoor Chef Life interview, which was planned. So props to Taku for being cool with it. But did you guys see that PK actually changed his channel name to Oregon Life?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Did you notice that? Yeah, yesterday I was flipping through my subscriptions and I saw like some giveaway and it said Oregon Life. I was like, why is this being recommended to me? And I remembered I was on my subscriptions. And I was like, oh, there's only one YouTuber I follow on YouTube that's based in Oregon. And it was PK. So I clicked on the video and it was his voice and he was doing like a real giveaway. So maybe him cutting in on the Outdoor Chef Life interview inspired him to change his name to Oregon Life. So hey, the Shelter Show influencing the big influencers. Hey, look at that. Hey, look at that. So what's up, Adam? What's up, June? How you guys doing?
What's up? Doing great.
Yeah. For you guys that checked in last time, June wasn't here, but he's making a special appearance just for us. So what's up, man?
Good to have you back.
Good to be here. Good to be back, man. Good to be back.
So let me ask you guys, you can be honest. Have you guys been fishing?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Yes.
That guy fish a lot.
I mean, as
me
you see,
too.
I'm on a pretty good halibut bite right now. So, yeah, I have been fishing it, but like I've been saying the past few weeks, and I'll keep saying, every situation is different. So, a lot of fishing, and some states it's totally banned. Luckily, here in California, it's not. So, some as long as your situation allows, yeah, fishing is still here. So yeah, I'm still fishing.
So Adam taking advantage of the situation.
Me
That's
too.
okay.
I still go out and fish, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Where are you fishing? No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that.
Hold on. I'm gonna try something, guys. You see there's 4 screens. I'm actually gonna try to get the live chat on the actual live stream. YouTube doesn't let you do that, so you have to get creative and figure out a way to do it. So let me see if I can do this. But while I do that, I want to ask, in the vein of fishing or non-fishing or what you should be doing, June, I noticed that the wildly popular Facebook group, More Than Fishing, on Facebook. A lot of these people that are here now are part of that group. I came to it one day. It was gone. It was archived. A lot of people love that site. It's the first thing they check in the morning. They want to see what's happening in the More Than Fishing community. And you did leave a nice message about doing what you thought was right. But hey, could you expand on it a little bit? I think a lot of people have some questions.
Oh, okay. All right. There we go. The main reason why I temporarily closed the group is because I think it's taking too much time of my time because oh yeah, right there.
Oh.
Because I have families and
It's that
priorities.
typical
I think it's taking. Yeah, I'm getting too much involved into it. It's becoming my priority than my family. So it's kind of like a lot of it's not easy. It's a lot of work. There's too many people that are sensitive, and of course our situation right now with COVID-19. Um, there's a lot of opinions going on out in there. So I'm trying to balance it on both sides of people that wanted to fish, people that doesn't want to fish. So I want to try to get in the middle, but it's tough. It's tough. Too many, and I'm getting a lot of messages, personal message. So I think, and then I felt like I have the responsibility to like answer all the questions,
Yeah.
and that's where it takes too much of my time when I'm getting a lot of messages, personal messages. So, and I felt like I really need to answer all the questions, but that's why I temporarily right now just close it first, and we'll resume when everything is. We feel like it's okay to come back. So that's the main reason. It's more personal than uh than anything else. So
Yeah. Well, like people don't realize like we put content out, and if you are good enough to get popular enough to grow a channel and a base on Facebook, like a community group like you have, I think what people don't realize is that there's this huge amount of pressure to be the voice of the community. People look to you for guidance. People find your content and consume it because they begin to trust you. Makes them
yeah.
better fishermen. For whatever reason, they get something pretty cool out of it. And the great thing is, you are that that kind of influencer, so to speak. You get a chance to guide people down the right direction. The other side of that, though, is the burden, the weight of carrying the responsibility of maybe saying the right thing every time. And you can't please everyone. I mean,
Yes.
these huge Facebook groups are people, and not everyone's always on the same page, which is what makes a community like ours great. Everyone has an opinion.
Mhm.
But in terms of fishing and with the current kind of situation in the world, everything is compounded and magnified. And so as an admin of the group, I'm actually in the background helping June manage it. We offered to run it even while June was taking a break, but I think he made the call. I think he made the right call to completely disconnect from it. And hey, there's a ton of Facebook fishing groups, and so if you guys are looking for that kind of community, there's a ton of them. California Surf Anglers is one, Bay Area Fishing, West Coast Surf Casters. A lot of you guys are probably in those groups too, and a lot of you guys, I see you guys there. So yeah. And so June, you do have I saw you announced it on Instagram, but I don't think I saw like a formal YouTube announcement. Everyone kind of knows he's the YouTube guy and probably goes there first for More Than Fishing news. But for anybody that doesn't know, can you let us know what's happening with your tournament?
Oh yeah. The tournament for now we postponed it, and we'll still on the watch on if we're gonna resume it anytime soon in July. I don't know. We're not sure yet. We're still basing it on the decision of the government if we're gonna lift the shelter in place and all the stuff. So we're still playing on it. We'll try to see how it's gonna be in a few months, and I'm planning most likely, if we're gonna pursue this, it's going to be an online tournament.
Okay.
We
So
might,
so
yeah,
you had an online perch tournament
yeah.
last year, I think it was.
Last
So
year,
yeah,
it
so it was a
wasn't
good.
successful
I
too.
participated now, and I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously it's not as personal as the in-person one, but yeah, I still thought it was a lot of fun. Also,
Yeah.
what I liked about that one. I don't know if you're gonna do it for this one, but what I did like about it was the live leaderboard.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that perch tournament was a multi-day event. So will the More Than
3 days.
Fishing online event also be a multi-day event, or is it going to be a single-day event?
It's just gonna be a single day. Yeah, it's just gonna be a single day. But I'm trying to separate those two events because I'm gonna have a 3 day event and just for the perch, and also a striped bass and perch all together. But we'll see. We'll see. We're not sure yet. I'm not making any decision yet. We're still under observations on what's going to be the situations in a few months.
Yeah.
Because we'll see. Expo's still there. It's not.
Yeah.
We're not making a decision yet.
Cool. So yeah, so June and June and the team behind the tournament. There's a team behind the tournament. They're going to do what's best for the community. They're going to make sure that he's following regulations and everyone is safe. Frankly, so if the online route is the way to go, it's the way to go. Or if that isn't even an option and restrictions tighten on the beaches. Let's say there's a second wave of this virus and numbers go up and there's restrictions. Of course, he'll be aware of that and do what's best for the community. So with that said, we're going to segue to our guest, and I bring up the tournament because this guest was kind of tied to the tournament, and I did kind of tease that this was going to be a tackle talk show. So I like to do this. Does anyone have a guess of who we're bringing on? Anybody? Think tackle, think YouTube. Who's big in the YouTube scene, social media scene as far as tackle? Anybody? What's up, Nick? How's it going? What's up, Edward? I see you guys. Oh, I don't know. There's a lag, but yeah, there's we have a pretty cool guest coming on. Again, we've hit a hot streak as far as YouTube guests. So if you're in the YouTube world and you like to consume fishing stuff on YouTube, I'm 100% sure you guys know who this person is. So let's see who are we bringing on. Let's see. Tackle, Lucky Craft, Josh. I don't even know who that is. Josh. Is it Matt's? Matt? Well, there's a Matt's. There's no Matt without an S. There's a Matt's with an S. Fisherman's Life. Matt doesn't know anything about tackle. What are you talking about? He's just like the same broadcast stuff that he started with like 4 years ago. Yeah, no, you know what? We'll have Matt's on one day. Actually, he might be on later. We'll see. So stick around. Hey, we've got 62 people watching. That's like 60 short of. We're halfway there to the record. So tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, who we're bringing on. I don't know. Well, let's see. Who are we bringing on? Can I? Is it possible I could get Josh from J&H Tackle? No way.
Bring it in.
No way. No, we're a small time basement
YouTuber.
show. Yeah, we're nobody.
Hey!
What's up, Josh?
There you go.
What's up, Josh? Can you hear us?
You guys have? Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going? I've been listening to the show. Everything seems to be going well so far.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah, how's it going,
Yeah, we're
Josh?
flowing. Welcome to the Shelter Show. This is only episode 6, and I like to say that this is the never imitated, therefore never duplicated, world's best basement online fishing show. Try to say that.
Most everybody's in their basement. It's good, yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Sure.
I just, the segue to bring you on was the fact that you are actually going to be at June's physical live More Than Fishing tournament, and it's not happening. So you know what?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I've known him for a couple of years, and we've sort of just corresponded through email and messages and all that kind of stuff. And J&H has sort of taken big leaps and bounds over the past couple of years with the social media stuff and the videos and just my style and what I try to put into it. And we're fortunate enough to be able to actually go out there, fly out to San Francisco. I was going to take one of my coworkers. He's never even been on a plane, which is just to me, it's hysterical. As a guy who's sort of traveled the world. For a kid who's, I think he's 22, 23, he's never been on an airplane. I said, let me stick you to for 6 hours and take you from New York to California and stay there for 4 or 5 days and just see that Cali scene, that surf casting scene that I'm not used to. We're so Montauk out here on Long Island and in the Northeast that it's just a different breed of guys. But a lot of the guys who fish out there come to J&H because they go on holiday to Montauk, right? It's like that's the dream place for you guys to come fish.
Make
So
a
I've met a lot
pilgrimage
of them.
there.
I've talked with a lot of them, and June was one of those guys who I've talked with again and worked with a bit and always sponsored the tournament, at least for the past couple of years. I said, let's fly out. Let's be a bigger part. Let me meet these guys in person. I've always talked about on my Instagram videos doing like an in-person meeting with this group of guys that buys from me and that I talk to, and we go back and forth about tackle, and finally meet face to face with the vast majority of them. So that was the plan, and hopefully it still comes to fruition just a little bit later on.
Yeah, this is one of those things that will definitely pass. How soon it will pass is the great unknown, right? And so, of course, the people that are in the position to plan out these types of events where the public is, exposed or potentially exposed, definitely want to do what's right. And so, thanks again for stopping by. For those of you guys that don't know, I'd be very surprised. This is Josh himself of J&H Tackle. He's the J in J&H. What's the H stand for, by the way?
H is Harry. H is my dad. He started it all. He's been in the business for a million years. He's actually known around the country as like the best buyer of tackle in the industry in the past 40 years, whatever it is.
Wow.
He was this guy who got these like crazy deals that no one else got, knew everybody, and was just well respected. And it was interesting when I got into the business and we started going to ICAST, which was like, for us being in New York, it's a step. And back then it was in Vegas. So it was a step to say, we're going to spend this amount of money and fly to Vegas just to go to a tackle show. Right.
Yeah.
And sort of when I was out there, I sort of got to see a different side of my dad, which was, everybody wanted to talk to him. Everybody knew him. Everybody wanted to say hi. And I joked that he was the mayor of ICAST. That was the thing going around. And years would go by and it would just be the same thing. So that's who the H is. That's Harry. A lot of the older guys who come in always ask where he's at because he snowbirds down in Florida over the winter. And then he still works 6 days a week. He's 88 years old and he's bored as hell at home and can't wait to, be able to leave the house. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, before we get into some more questions, just like to personally thank you, Josh, for supporting my tournament. He's been a really big supporter of my tournament, the past tournament, probably like 2 or 3 years now. And I would like to personally thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, dude. No problem, dude.
Yes. One day I'll come there. We'll fish together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So as a West Coast channel, speaking for Adam, myself, and June, because we are on the West Coast, it's really cool to see, a small shop based in the East Coast make this kind of bridge over to the West Coast. We're here today because for me personally, you are synonymous with online tackle, right? So when I think of a place to buy tackle or look for information, people, I like to think in my generation or younger, the first place they go is to nowadays is to make a purchase decision or to help that purchase decision is going to YouTube, right? And so by far, you are the best at getting ahead of that decision-making curve and putting your goods out there and making J&H synonymous with tackle. And so that's how I got to know you. I think a lot of people here, if anyone doesn't know, well, you probably don't fish as much as you think you fish, because if you're online looking for information and you're looking for a reel, specifically like especially saltwater reels, there's a good chance that J&H is ranked super high in your search results. And so that's how I got to know J&H. So I've probably known of your channel for like 4 or 5 years or something like that. Mm-hmm. But in like, I'd say the last 12 months on Instagram, especially, you've just like exploded and you've really taken the social game and kind of taking it over. I mean, you're like everywhere. So yeah. So
is that the story that you want to hear? You want to hear the story?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I want to hear how a little shop in the East Coast is now all over, the internet, and how us West Coast guys think of tackle and J&H.
Sure. So I'm not the hardcore fisherman that you guys are. You know what I mean? That's just not me. I grew up fishing every weekend with my dad, and we would sort of, as a kid, I just wanted to play Nintendo, play basketball with my friends, baseball, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, fishing too. but it wasn't the focus of my life. It was my dad's passion, still is his passion. And which is great. And I share that with him when we go on trips to like Tropic Star Lodge or Venice, Louisiana, red fishing, those kind of like once in a lifetime type of trips, right? And so I take a different perspective to fishing, which is more of a business side of things, right? I look at the industry and I make decisions based off of it. I don't know if you hear that's my dog running around upstairs. I don't know if you can hear that.
No problem.
But with the videos, what happened was it was like 8 or 9 years ago, and obviously I knew about YouTube, and I was just hearing about them stealing Daily Show clips, and that's sort of how they blew up, and it just became this platform, and eventually went from this comedy, funny, interesting little clips of things that were already maybe you didn't see on late night TV or that kind of thing, to a platform where normal people can put content up and get noticed, right? So I said to one of my coworkers, who's like a fishing savant, just incredible fishing now, I said, let's do these videos, let's just try them out. We'll do a video review, we'll do a product review of something popular. I forget what the first one was. Maybe it was an Avid or a Stella or something, or Vansol. And he did it, and it was okay. It was okay, but he wasn't able to sort of, he was a little bit of a mush mouth, you know what I mean? He couldn't speak as clearly as I can speak. So while he had the knowledge at the time, I said to him, let me know the keys. What are we talking about here? Feed it to me. Let me know what's going on, and then let me do it. I'll be the face. I'll do it. And I was able to do it in one take, 2.5 minutes, which is generally what the videos are. And then we'll slap an intro on, we'll slap an ending on, we'll put it all together. Super easy. This way we can still focus on helping customers and not making these videos, which, I didn't want to spend all this time editing, making this beautiful, because I didn't see the advantage of that. I never watched these shows and go like, oh my, I'm so overwhelmed by how great these fishing shows are and the videos and that kind of stuff. And really, I just wanted to pass information on. Yeah. So I started doing that, and it took maybe about 18 months of me just doing these videos once or twice a week. And all of a sudden I'm getting calls from like Ireland, South Africa, Australia. And we had VoIP, but it wasn't as easy as it is now. You know what I mean? Like you could just hop on and call anyone in the world anywhere for free, right? 5, 6, 7 years ago, it wasn't like that. We're on the cusp of that, but it wasn't happening. So there's still effort, and it was still odd to get a call from halfway around the world, emails from Japan, like all this kind of stuff that never happened. And then when I walk around the store, because at the time it was just me and my hands in the videos, no one really saw my face. I didn't put my face out there. It was just the product. Yeah. And so people will come in the store and be like, I know your voice. Oh my God, you're the YouTube guy. You're the video guy. Which is pretty much what I've been known as. And it just blew up. You know what I mean? To now where we have over, I think it's like 16 million views on YouTube, and another 1 million or 1.5 million on Vimeo, which is how we stream through the site J&H itself. Mm-hmm. And it's just sort of crazy. So as we did that, I sort of transitioned to Instagram, because my buddy was like, you should really be on Instagram. That's sort of the next generation. I'm like, you sure? Because it seems really like a young crowd. And he's like, no, I'll just do stuff. And I just sort of, just played around on there, doing stupid things, taking pictures of things in the case, posting it, testing it, learning, trying to figure it out. And then once I hit a certain level of people, I was able to do more stuff. And I actually learned from my coworkers, which is, this is sort of the most interesting part of running a business. This is where business becomes the focus of it, which is that I work with a lot of young people who aren't 4-year college graduates, who aren't that, like, quote unquote, the American way of things of, I graduate high school, I go to college for 4 years, and I get a great job in a big city. Like, this isn't that group of kids. This is that group of guys who has a passion for one thing. And in our case, it's fishing, right? Yeah. It could be anything. It could be basketball, it could be baseball, it could be art, whatever. But in our case, it's fishing, right? Yeah. These kids they live and breathe fishing, and they have a different view than me. I'm in my mid 40s, they're in their, at the time they were 18, 19, 22, somewhere around there.
So they're aware of what is trending as far as social platforms and where to be.
Right. They're just sort of, they've got a different worldview than I do. You know what I mean? And I'm not a selfish person to think that I know everything, because I don't. Right? I'm really open to ideas. So I take these kids who a lot of people have passed on in terms of they'll never amount to anything, and I listen to them and I hear their ideas. And one of their ideas was about doing giveaways, right? Which seems really simple, but what they are is they're fans of diesel trucks, which I know nothing about, have no interest in, but it's interesting. So I said, tell me about this. So they found this diesel truck company. Basically what they do is they pimp out a truck, and then they give it away, right? And their model is, you buy their hat, you get 1 entry, you buy their shirt, you get 2 entries, you buy their hoodie, you get 3 entries, whatever, you know what I mean? But basically they're selling merch. When they reach a certain amount of sales, they give that truck away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be a month, could be 2 months, 3 months, depends on how much merch and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, for anyone watching that doesn't follow J&H Tackle on Instagram, let me tell you, like, I'd say at least twice a week there's some kind of giveaway, and sometimes the giveaways are for like
by far the best giveaways on Instagram, I'll say.
Yeah, and I remember when I started following you only had a couple of thousand followers, and now I think you're up to like 36,000 followers, something like that. You probably know off the top of your head.
Yeah, just about 36.
Okay, so his channel, for anyone interested in creating a YouTube channel or Instagram presence for yourself, if you have a lot of tackles to give away, it definitely helps. But it's definitely like a good example of how you can take a small following and like blow it up like very quickly.
So I'll link it all together just so that you can sort of put a bow on it. Which was what happened was I said, okay, let's do a giveaway. Let's do something. What could we give away? I didn't want to do anything too crazy, anything too risky. Let's do a small dollar amount, but something that would grab attention. So I have a big surf market, and one of the biggest, hottest things is super strike lures. So literally we just took two super strike lures, for me, nothing, you know what I mean? Yeah. And we did a giveaway, and we actually started on Facebook, and in a couple of days, we had 100,000 views, which for a tackle shop is insane, right? I mean, it's crazy. And then we did it on Instagram, and we had a very similar thing. And ever since then, basically every Friday, pretty much I'd be leaving the shop. I know I wouldn't be in for the weekend. So I would be like, let's do a giveaway, because this will just get us some traffic for the weekend when things sort of go down, because everybody's fishing, right? So everybody's not, at the time, everybody's not on social media. I know everybody's on social media 24/7, but you know what I mean, right? Yeah. So we did that on Friday, and we do different varying of things. And then the big story, or sort of the big jump or the big leap, was that 3 years ago, every year we do a Black Friday. I was the first guy to do Black Friday in fishing tackle. We watched like Walmart and Target and all these mobs and all this kind of stuff. And I said to my dad, let's do a Black Friday sale. And he's like, I don't think it'll work. Let's try it. We did it the first time. Huge success, right? It was our busiest day ever. And it's sort of been like that ever since. And it's just grown and grown and grown. Great. So about 3 years ago, I got mad at the industry because, when I do like live videos on Instagram or any sort of post, it's watched by people you don't think watch. You know what I mean? Most of the sales managers, higher ups at all these companies watch them. The buyers at Dick's watch them. So they're just watched by a lot of industry insiders because I'm doing something different, right? I'm doing something that other people aren't.
Moving the needle.
Right. So we're trying to push things in a certain way, and it's just worked really well. So
let me ask. So you said that your passion isn't really fishing, but you're more the business guy. But I mean, you're definitely relatable to the people that fish, because fishing is all about identifying patterns, identifying what could happen to replicate success over and over, and you do it over and over. So on the business side, you definitely have the fisherman gene, because what you're trained to do is look for those opportunities and execute, and boom, if you can get that sale, if you can move the needle, that's your catch, right? That's your rush.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, I look at life and I look at business in a different way than most people, and it's been influenced by actually a Nintendo game that I used to play as a kid called Baseball Stars. I don't know if you guys ever played this. This is probably a little before your time. This is a baseball game where you could
manage a team.
You could do that, but you could buy players, meaning you can buy players and they had attributes, and one of the attributes was called prestige, right? This was how valuable that player was as a to your team, meaning every time you played a game, if you won, you get a certain amount of money, right? Yeah. So the trick in this game, and the way to sort of cheat the game, was you wanted to fill up even your garbage players. You want to fill the prestige all the way. That's where you want to put your sort of your allotment, and then just you play one player against two player, and you cheat because two player would just be and you'd strike out, and you have 10 home run rule, all this kind of stuff, right? And eventually you would be able to buy these quote unquote billion-dollar players, which were just, they hit home runs every time, they throw the ball a billion miles an hour, and you sort of just cheat the game. So that whole idea of getting prestige really resonated with me. Yeah. So in terms of how I do business and how I do social media and how I do things, it's not really about the moment. Like if you came to me and you bought $1,000 worth of stuff, would I be happy? Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I really don't care in the moment about that one sale. right?
Yeah.
I care that in 2 months, you're going to come back to me, and then later that year, and so on and so forth, over the lifetime of you as a customer, that you're going to say, you know what, I want to be a part of the J&H community. I want to not only buy from you, but I don't want to say promote you, but just be
Yeah.
part of the community, which is what we built, as
Yeah.
opposed to just being some tackle shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I get offers all the time from people who want huge discounts. All they care about is how much they want to pay, right? And I say to
Yeah.
them, I'm not interested. I don't need you. I have so
Yeah.
many customers who are more interested in the customer service part of it.
Yeah.
In terms of the learning, the knowledge, the information, where literally like tonight, you can hit me up on Instagram and 5 minutes later, you'll have me answer your question. Like
Yeah.
I do that. Like I do that all the time. I answer
And-
every single question.
And
I don't
J&H,
care.
yeah, for anyone that's not aware of J&H, that's I think number one, they're known for their customer service, and you don't get that level of customer service if you are just looking for the cheapest price for any product. Because like any tackle shop, you know, he's not producing it, but what he's selling is the support and the service behind the sale. So anyone can go to Amazon, anybody can go to Walmart, but you're not going to get that face-to-face, you know, relationship and information like you would from Josh at
Yeah,
J&H.
yeah, I've seen a lot of comments in the comment section. Same thing. You know, they're
Yeah.
like the customer service aspect.
I'm the only owner in the country who you can call, who I give my cell phone number out to all the time, because it doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? If you want help and you need information, text me, email me, DM me through Instagram. I don't, you know, I'm there to help you. That's what I think my job is. And when I'm sitting on the couch watching Game of Thrones or Clone Wars or whatever I'm doing, it's not hard to just pick this thing up and write, you should really use the medium heavy and not the medium. And this is why. This is why your choice is horrible, or this is why your choice is great. Like,
But Josh,
you know what I mean?
think, because I'm seeing you're really doing a great job in your business, hitting West Coast, you're hitting everywhere.
Sure.
I think I can see your business going really good, but do you think you can keep that consistency in communicating with people once you get there?
You mean as you grow and as you get bigger?
Yes, because that's tough. That's tough. Because
Right,
now I've seen a lot of people that at the beginning, not really at the beginning, but when they're picking up, they're into it, they're hands-on with their customers, with their clients. But right when they get up there, they're suddenly like, they're not into it anymore. They have people, because it's overwhelming. There's a lot of work.
There's this weird outlook on business that, and you see it when you've called the phone company or the cable company or any of these monster corporations, which is you get someone reading from a script, some sort of nonsense. Now they're doing all the automated stuff. But it's like someone that cannot have a personal connection with you in any way, doesn't understand what you're doing. You know, there are a couple of exceptions there. Maybe Apple is one of them sometimes, but for the most part, I'm sorry if you're hearing noise. That's my family being nuts during quarantine. So my outlook was always, whenever I called these places, because I hated calling them, was why don't they put better people, meaning their best people, the people they want to train, on customer service? Because you always heard stories of CEOs like mysteriously like hopping in and then helping the customer. Now, I don't say that has to happen all the time where you have the CEO of the company,
but it makes a big difference.
Everyone. But if you have great people who are knowledgeable and who are helpful and who are part of the community, actually interacting with the people who are going to either make you or break you, meaning if you're a customer and you're going to place a $100 order, I'm just picking a random number, you know, you're teetering on the edge there. Like, yeah, you might be leading as a customer. I need this item. I want it. I'm going to buy it now, right? But you could change your mind and say, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go to a big box. I'm going to go to another tackle shop. I'm not going to buy this. So it's always like almost on a knife's edge in a way, not that serious of a case, but I'm just giving you an example. So I always felt that your best people should be answering the phone, because you get it all the time where that person, it's not their fault. They just say the wrong thing to that particular customer that turns them off in some way. And it's sort of a mystery why more companies don't do that. I get it from an owner standpoint, but you know,
all it takes is one good experience, and you could have a customer for life. And so,
and all these guys are linked. You know, you're a group. You're part of a group. So if I'm nice to you and we have a great relationship, you know, the fishing community is small. Meaning, you've got a group of 20 friends, 50 friends, whatever it is.
And expands.
You're going to tell them, like, I shop at J&H. That guy Josh is awesome. Like, he helps me, or Brian, or Al, or Jose. Like, he solved the problem for me, or blah blah blah. Whatever your story is.
Yeah.
And someone else is gonna say, okay, I'll try, and then they'll go, oh wow, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let me tell you guys. So, to get the guests that we've been getting on this show, we are a small show. At the most we'll get like 100 people watching, but people then will watch the recording. My offer to people, I invite people to listen to this as a podcast if they don't want to watch it live. But to build up the guest list, it's just about reaching out to the community and seeing who's being responsive. So actually, to get Josh committed to this appearance, I asked June, he gave me his information. I reached out to Josh, honestly, not thinking like, oh, Josh is gonna like hit me back right away. But he did. We had a really nice conversation. We had a conversation very similar to this conversation now. And I just knew that his background and his delivery would resonate with people that love tackle. I mean, I love tackle. Most of the views of my channel come from reel reviews. I love fishing reels more than I think anything in fishing. Catching fish is fun, but I like reels.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say more than anything. Just leave it at that.
More than
I'm
anything.
glad you added the fishing at the end.
In fishing, let me. This is the fishing channel, right? So again, this is Josh from J&H Tackle. If you guys aren't aware, probably #1 fishing tackle YouTube channel. So Josh, let me ask you. I know you're based in Long Island, New York. Where we mesh, where your audience, your purchases, your target market on the East Coast, where you mesh with us, is the striper scene. So we have a smaller striper scene. We pretend to be as big as the East Coast. I want to ask, if somebody has $200 and they're buying a striper setup, what are you going to tell a person on the East Coast to buy, and what are you going to tell a person on the West Coast to buy? And does it matter?
It matters a little bit. Well, it matters a lot, I guess. My whole philosophy on anything is go lighter and have more fun. That's the whole point of it. You don't need to fish to eat. Hopefully you don't need to fish to eat. If you need to fish to eat, that's a whole different situation. But I'd say 99.9% of us don't have to do that. So I would say, depending on where you're fishing is how I'm going to advise you. It's not just an East Coast, West Coast thing. It's North Shore, Long Island, South Shore, Long Island, Montauk. These are all very different areas. Florida is different. Everything's different. West Coast is obviously different.
But for stripers, like surf stripers, like a lot of our audience there, that's like their #1 thing, and that's what they target. So
sure.
So yes, for surf stripers, okay, yeah. So maybe it's not a huge difference between East and West.
If it was up to me, I would tell you to try something new. I would tell you to try something different, maybe something you haven't tried before, which is, I actually did a live video on it. You can check it out. It's called the Dark Matter OB rod, and it's a 10-foot 2-piece, weighs 7 ounces, right? And it's sort of based off of the Megabass Pangea rod. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's a $500 Japanese surf rod. So instead of a traditional surf butt, it has a, like the rear grip is like, let's say 12 inches, like an inshore rod. So imagine having an inshore rod that's 10 feet long, anything from, let's say, 1/2 to 1.5, maybe even 2 ounce. You'll outcast anyone else on the beach, right?
Wow.
And while you do that, you'll be able to keep your lure, your bucktail, whatever you're throwing, in the strike zone much longer, okay? Because you're going to get that distance.
The new rod on the block around here is the Shimano Dialuna. Is it better than that?
Yes.
Oh, better than the Dialuna, June.
Yes. But actually, Josh offered.
I'll send you one, June. I'll just send you one to mess around with it.
Don't send it to him. This is the Initial Fish channel. If you're gonna send him one, send me one too.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Josh offered that for the tournament.
You know what? You can test it out for me, but the cool thing about it is that it weighs 7 ounces. You're going to fish it with a 3,000 to 4,000 size spinning reel, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to use a 6,000 or 5,000. You use something really light, maybe like this. I just happen to have this in front of me. Luvius, Daiwa Luvius. You know what I mean? This thing weighs nothing. It's the carbon version of the Certate. And you're just going to have a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
Because your fish aren't enormous. Not that matters, right? We don't have it here on the East Coast anymore anyway, at least not from the shore. We do from the boat.
Yeah.
But what that's going to allow you to do is just have more fun fishing. I sort of compare everything to performance shirts because it's the easiest thing for people to understand. If you go out in the hot sun and in a straight up cotton shirt, you're going to get tired. You're going to wear down faster than if you're wearing a polyester performance shirt that's pulling moisture away. Yeah. So that lighter combo is that. So that Megabass rod is a $500 rod. That's out of the reach of a lot of people, right?
Yeah. I think $200 is like a sweet spot for the average person, average angler that's starting to take things serious and moving up from their you know,
Sure.
battle too.
Well, that new surf rod is 250, so it's pretty close. Meaning the dark matter version is pretty close.
Cool.
The reel, you can use any 3,000 or 4,000 or even 5,000 inshore reel. So not like a big reel. If you have like a Stratic 4,000, or if you have a Battle 2, maybe you want to use something lighter. If you have a Nasky, something like that, even that new Spheros SW is good, the 3,000 or the 4,000. And you'll be able to do things that you've never been able to do before with a setup for longer.
What is the ratio of the dark matter?
It's a basically half to 1.5, but you could probably go up to 2 ounce.
Yeah.
So your minnows, you're going to kill it with light bucktails, any sort of small tins, or if you use the epoxy jigs out there or something like that.
And that's a short arm, right?
This has a short arm, so instead of fishing between your legs, you're going to fish it in your hip.
Yeah.
And it has so much back end power, you're going to be able to control it.
Yeah.
So that Pangea, I probably sold I sold 50 of them or 75 of them over the course of a couple of years, and I actually discontinued it, right? I even gave one to my dad. So my dad fishes that down in Florida, right? And it's one of those things where he's 88, rotator cuff. He's been fishing all his life. Just very easily whips it out there, and the thing just bombs. I mean, just absolutely bomb casts. And, he's fishing with small little old school Sabile lures or something like that, And
this is a 10-foot.
Fishing is perfect for you.
This is a 10-foot dark matter. What was the name of
think of it. Imagine having a 10-foot inshore rod.
Okay.
You're fishing with a 10-foot inshore rod that's thinner than a pencil, that weighs 7 ounces.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Alkanite K guides, so you don't have to worry about tangles. You can get ton of distance. You're going to be fishing with a setup that's under a pound. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine throwing something under a pound where you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to do that for 3 hours? Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
It's actually very similar to. That's why I asked for the lure ratio. It's similar for what I've been using right now, which is the Shimano Dialuna. It's a 10-footer rod, 2 ounces of lure weight. I bought that rod because of I can cast lighter lure, like the LC, because we don't really here West Coast, we don't really go over 2 ounces of lure weight, not lure.
Yeah.
Not like in Canal, they throw like 6 ounce lure, right? So
yeah, but you've got to remember this. The coolest thing about saltwater fishing and why you guys aren't freshwater fishing is because freshwater bass fishing is the same everywhere. Yes. You know what I mean? You might go to different lakes and use different techniques, right? But there's no place where you're going to go and fish 1/2 ounce and fish 6 ounce, and then you're going to fish, in the canal even heavier. You know what I mean? So like you're taking these places, like I think people sometimes think Montauk is surf fishing because it's so famous, but it's so much different than what you guys do. It's just a totally different animal. You guys don't need fully sealed Van Stalls and all that kind of stuff. You're not putting on a wetsuit and swimming out and doing this crazy stuff. You're not jigging, with 11-foot rods in the canal.
See, Van Stall guys, you West Coast California Van Stall guys.
Well,
hey, they can hate me all they want. You don't need it. It's a great reel. Buy one. They're great. They're awesome. But you don't need it.
They are awesome. They are awesome reels.
You probably have, VR50 for you guys is great.
Oh, everyone has a VR50.
VR50 is dope, right? It's super lightweight and it's that perfect size. And I think what people forget about the VR, because they dismiss it a little bit. The VS is better, blah, blah, blah. It's got this, that, the other thing. The VR is actually Van Stall version 3. So you got Van Stall, which is VS, right? You got ZBass version 2, VR version 3. So in terms of technology, the VR is first of all sealed as well as the VS, and it's lighter and it's newer. It's more refined by the same dude. The same dude did all 3 of those.
Craig,
It's not like we have different hands in the pot here. It's the same guy, and his knowledge got better over time and he figured things out. Yeah. So that VR50 paired with a rod like that, and if you don't want to get the dark matter, that's totally cool. Kind of hard for you to find something similar. Maybe like a Black Hole Suzuki might be similar to that. You know what I mean? In terms of what you can do. Or you look at the Japanese market and you see what you can find.
Yeah.
Like
what I said, Dialuna is really perfect. Like it's similar, but Dialuna doesn't sell here in the United States. Though.
Correct. Yeah.
It's only in Japan.
So I was fortunate. I went to Japan in January for the show, right before
I saw that
this happened, and it was just it's a weird show. It really is weird.
Yeah.
Because they have really decimated their fishery,
Oh.
and it's affected everything severely. Yeah.
As far as tackle though, is it kind of like are you jealous as far as like what they get versus what is eventually sent to the States? Because
No,
there's this perception that JDM stuff is like
right,
heaven
right.
and we get the crap.
Yeah. So I'll explain to you. So they're a different kind of culture, and they don't, even though the US is such a huge market, right? I mean,
Yeah.
huge, right? Japan is still enormous, even though it's a small country with a small amount of people relative to the US. It's just a huge market. They all love fishing, they're super into it, right? Problem is they depleted their fishery, so everything is like super super small and super lightweight, right? So you have all these things, all this technology, but they don't really use it in the same way that we do. So
Hmm.
when I talk with the guys who work over there at some of the major manufacturers, and they move them back and forth between America and I think Germany and Japan, they all want to be in America because off of California, they're just going to get bigger fish. They can go to New York, they can go to Florida, they can do all this stuff. They can't do that in Japan, right? So when I'm in that show, I'm looking at like, clear crabs the size of a dime.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like imagine spending your day saltwater fishing with that.
Yeah.
You probably would want to blow your brains out. It's just, it's like you're using it to catch bait, basically. Like imagine if that was your only goal, was to catch bait on a rod and reel, and then you went home like, oh my, I'm so happy. This was such a great day.
That sounds depressing, Josh.
It is depressing.
That sounds
It's
terrible.
depressing for them. It's not depressing for us because we live in the United States, right?
Yeah.
So we
That's
have
true.
access
That's
to a
true.
much richer
Yeah.
fishery that hasn't been totally destroyed like theirs have. So technology-wise, yes, their reels, like the Shimano reels and the Daiwa reels, are killer. They're just killer. Like it's super cool, double handles on spinning reels and all this kind of weird stuff that we just don't get over here.
Yeah.
And I think we would benefit from a lot of it. From a business standpoint, they don't look at it that way. They look at Japan's first and everybody else is second.
Yeah.
And they're sort of like territories, right? So America's a territory, Germany, Australia is a territory, and they all get different things instead of giving everybody the same thing, right? Because it's expensive. Like if you're a major manufacturer, Shimano or Daiwa in America, right? You're treated as a separate company. So you only have a certain amount of money. You don't have Shimano Japan, we're just going to throw this out, you can pay me later. Like you're treated like you've got to buy from us, you got to pay your bills.
Yeah.
So you've got to pick and choose what you're going to bring in. So anytime you say, well, how come we didn't get that version of the Stratic, right?
Yeah.
How come we didn't get, that version of the Tatula or whatever? It's strictly because you have a limited number of funds. You've got to focus on the areas that can do really well. Like one of the coolest reels I saw over there was a 200 to 300 size electric reel from Daiwa, right? So you think
Electric
to yourself,
reel?
electric reels, what? Yeah, see, you're getting that response. But if you're slow pitch jigging, right, and you're using that electric reel and you're using it regular, and then you want to just reel in, I'm not reeling the fish, I mean, just bring your bait and you want to check on it, you hit a jog wheel and the thing comes right up.
Well, yeah,
Cool.
that's when you're fishing like 500, 600 foot depths, right?
No, 300 feet, whatever.
Okay.
Because
That's pretty deep for California still, 300 feet.
Sure. Here's the theory, right? And it goes back to offshore fishermen is probably the best way. I don't know if you guys fish rig ballyhoo out on the West Coast at all, but we fish a lot of rig ballyhoo, right? So the question is if you're trolling, right, and you hook into a tuna and you get that tuna, you get that tuna right and you got to go fish again, are you going to now spend 20 minutes rigging a ballyhoo, or are you going to come prepared with 20 ballyhoo that are pre-rigged and put them together, right? Yeah. So that's the whole thing with that electric reel is that when you are, you could reel in those 300 feet, but why do that? Why not get your bait in, change it up, or whatever you have to do, get back to fishing?
Yeah.
So by reeling in and being a hero, you're really just wasting your day, right?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's true. Like I noticed one key to success in all types of fishing is having your presentation, doing its thing in the water as often as possible. Like a big difference between the noobs and the guys that consistently catch fish. They have gone through the path of figuring out what doesn't work and how to fix things if things go wrong, to then get their presentations in front of that fish as often as possible. I remember we had a YouTuber tournament here on the West Coast, and I remember, and I'll never forget this, the guy that ended up winning the tournament, we were all fishing for stripers and perch, surf perch here on the West Coast because it's the West Coast. And I remember, like, I was talking to him and I took a break and he was just consistently casting. It was getting hot and he was wearing a jacket. I was like, man, aren't you sweating in that thing? He's like, I have no time to take my jacket off. Like if I take my jacket off, that's going to cost me 20 casts. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's like so hardcore. And then like 5 minutes later, he ended up catching like the winning striper that won the tournament. He actually, I think he won a Van Stall because of that. So it's that mentality that I've always remembered, in that he had calculated how many casts it would cost him if he took the time to take his jacket off. So that's how, just an analogy for
Yeah, it's
being as
the
prepared
modern-
as possible to
It's the
catch what
three-point
you're
shot of
targeting.
the modern NBA, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. You know what I mean? Chuck up as many threes as you can, because the chances of X percentage of them going in is higher than if you put your back to the basket and you just get 2 every single time.
Yeah,
you
that's
get up,
that's warrior ball right there.
right? So that's
Yeah.
that's the same.
Bay Area crowd over here.
The same thing in freshwater bass fishing, right? So guys like KVD, they do something called power fishing,
Yeah.
right? Which you guys are probably familiar with, which is just cast after cast after cast. Don't even wait. If you don't get that fish, next cast, next cast, next cast. And
That's
because you're casting so much, the theory is that you're going to get more chances, because
Yeah.
in the fall, that's when you're going to get hit, all this kind of stuff. So
that's anybody fishing with kids, because you just don't have time to talk to your friends and take pictures and all this BS. You gotta cast, right up until you get that text message asking you, "Hey, where are you?"
exactly, yeah.
So again, this is Josh from J&H Tackle. So thanks again for your time. I really appreciate it. Sounds like you got kids and a family to get back to, and plus
Yeah,
a
they
business
just
to run.
started vacuuming. I don't know,
At
Hey,
9 o'clock.
Video.
At 9 o'clock.
You know what? It's quarantine, baby. It's
That's
quarantine.
right. Time doesn't exist in quarantine. Let me ask you. Let me ask you before you take off.
Sure.
As a business owner, you do have the digital side like locked in. Oh, hi. This is my little
There you
one.
go.
You
Perfect
do
time.
have the digital side locked in. How has the whole COVID-19 situation affected your business? And are you doing okay? Like, I do worried about small business and what's going to happen. How are things going? If you're willing to share that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's absolutely insane. Okay, so this is what happens. Okay, so we have a hello. I don't know your name, but hi. We have a very busy store, physical store. Not forget about the internet for a second, just the physical store.
Yeah.
Super, super, super busy. Does a crazy amount of business. Does really well. I think people underestimate that. I get that question all the time, like, "Hey, you do more online than you are in the store?" And the answer is still no, because the store does such a tremendous amount of business, right? So we were forced to close the store down, right? And we decide we're going to keep the online portion open, but we've got to have a limited crew. So the accountant advised you to let everybody go, to fire every single one of your employees, which is just heart wrenching. You know what I mean? Because you've built this team of great people, all the way from, the guys who ship in the Mac, the guys up front, the bookkeeper, everybody, and you have to basically let everyone go, right? And this will allow them to go on unemployment and keep getting monies, because the government foolishly didn't decide to just keep everybody getting paid. Like, who cares? Like, you're going to pay it anyway, just pay everybody. But decide not to do that. They hook it up with unemployment, right? So what happens with that is a certain group of guys just wants to work. So if you ask them to come back to work, they work. Another group of guys are either afraid of the virus, have a family member who has the virus, and therefore they can't work, or they're collecting unemployment and they're seeing, just because of the way that it's structured, that you can make more money staying home, right? I could stay home for 8 weeks, make my $600 plus my unemployment. I make less working than I do, or that's more than what I make working. And it's short-sighted because it's only 8 weeks, right? So this isn't going to affect a business like mine. But if we look at, let's say, a restaurant, right? That restaurant that maybe had 10 employees, once it reopens, and let's say it happens in 8 weeks from the start of this thing, they might open with only 5 people, and they're going to go, you know what? I got 5 guys who stayed with me during this thing. The other 5 guys stayed home, collected unemployment. You don't have a job now. So now what do? Now I'm unemployed. Yeah, I'm probably still going to get some sort of unemployment benefit, but I don't have a job. I don't have anything. Like, this kind of sucks. So it's sort of short-sighted, but I completely understand why people do it. It's a lot of money to throw at people, and it makes sense except everybody should have got it. Everybody should have just got the same thing, or they should have just protected the payroll. So anyway, so you're in the situation where you have 1 or 2 guys, right? And the business just explodes. The online business explodes. So this month alone, from the beginning of the month, we're up 180%. Okay. So that's almost triple what we were doing previous, right? This is in a short period of time. This is with a much, much smaller crew of guys. Okay. And what happens is everything sort of goes exponentially. So if normally J&H ships a package in 1 to 2 days, I'm just giving an example. Now it's 7 to 8 days, right? So after 2 days, you're a J&H customer, you go like, hey, maybe they forgot about me. I didn't get my package, which I totally understand, right? So what do? You email me, you text me, you call me, you DM me, you do all these things, 5, 6 different things. Maybe you comment on a YouTube video, right? And now we multiply that by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, right? So I started off at 300 emails, and I'm answering a ton every single day. Now I'm at, I think, 1,200 or almost 1,300 emails. And it's become so huge, so many emails and so many questions that I just can't answer them all. I just physically can't do it. I try, I can get through 300-400, and then my head just goes, screw it. You know what I mean? You just can't physically handle it. So I sort of made some changes today that were important, and we'll see how it works out. But I've been shipping every day. Like, my whole goal was to get out of the shipping department and not ship with these guys, because we had a team, and these guys would finish every day, get everything out. They did awesome. I had to get rid of them all, right? So now I have a much smaller group. I'm coming in, let's say 5 days a week. I have to stay home 2 days because I have kids, no schools. I got to teach those kids. I have no idea how to teach a second grader. It's way harder than being successful in the fishing tackle industry, and it just sucks. So I'm 2 days at home, 5 days at work. It's hard, yeah. So I worked all day today, and we do in-store pickup too, right? So like, you order online, and then you can come into the back, and we have to do the social distancing guidelines and wear masks and gloves and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Totally understand that. It makes sense to me. But the customers don't sort of respect that. They call and they go, hey, are you open? Because they're used to us being open, right?
They just see a face, they see the business, and they want their product, and they don't really care about the logistics behind the scenes. But
so today, for the
making
first
it work.
time, so today, for the first time, I made a couple of changes, which was the biggest problem for us, other than me just getting swamped with emails and not being able to respond as I normally would, although I am doing it on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, is that every time a customer calls, it takes up a certain period of time of one of the small amount of workers that I have, right? So let's say it takes 15 minutes. If you have an 8-hour guy there, right? You have 15 minutes, that's 4 per hour, that's 32. You have 32 15-minute segments, right? In a workday. Let's say an hour for lunch and just messing around. Now you're down to 28, right? So each guy has 28 units. Every time a person calls, that's 1 unit, right? Meaning it's probably going to take them 5, 10, or 15 minutes, especially if they have to put their order through with that person. And that person could probably ship out 2-3 orders, or set up things that all the reels that need to get lined can go to the machine so that someone could spool them up, ship rods, which is time consuming, like all these things, right? So
well, like when that order comes through, it's not as simple as putting something in a box. I mean, there's the whole kind of domino chain that has to happen, right?
So with Black Friday is our biggest time of the year. I decided I'm going to take over that period of time from Thanksgiving Day through Cyber Monday. That's like my focus through the year. That's my goal. My goal is just to crush it during that window, because that's a shopping window, right? Now we have that every single day for this whole month, or this past 20, let's say 22, 23 days, right? And it's just with a third of the staff. So for Black Friday, I can plan. I could say, I pretty much know what I'm going to do. I'm going to over prepare. I'm going to pay more guys, because my goal is to get this right. You're going to come to J&H on Black Friday, meaning that week, right? That 5-day period. And oh my God, they got me my order in 2 days. Wow. Like, everything's done. And by the end of the week after that, we're already into Christmas. You know what I mean? We're like into the next push, right? So in this instance, I can't do that, because I can't prepare. I can't hire anybody. I can't bring anybody in. I can't bring anybody back. I've asked. They don't really want to come back for the reasons I described, right? So it's very, very challenging.
So the demand is increased, but the support behind the scenes is decreased. Is that what's happening here?
Right. So we're basically running on like a quarter of the number of guys we normally use to fulfill, 2 to 3 times as many orders. And the other problem, the other issue, which is, again, not anticipated, is Black Friday that week. That's gifts. You know what I mean? Like, I want a Stella, I want a Van Staal, I want a St. Croix Legend. It's those one item, dream item kind of things, right? This is, I got to get ready for the season. I need swivels, hooks, bucktails, gulp, Chatterlores trolling stuff. I need outrigger clips, TA clips, all this kind of stuff that adds up to 2, 3, 4 page orders that, as you stated, is not easy to pick. right? It's much more complicated, much more going on, and that's multiplied by a crazy factor. So I think I had 21 pages, and it's probably I think it's like 20 per page. This is digital. This isn't physical pages of orders to get through, and I went from 21 to just getting 19. That's how much I can do in a day, just because of how many phone calls, interruptions, and all this kind of stuff. So there's really no end in sight. We're trying our best, and it just depends on what happens. The thing that's looming for us is fluke season. So fluke is our biggest fish, and we've cultivated a huge audience with another YouTuber, John Skinner. I'm sure everybody knows, at least on the East Coast, knows John Skinner. I don't know if you guys know John.
Everyone knows John Skinner over here.
Knows John Skinner. Okay, so we're talking like, when I helped John to build his product, right? His base of product, which includes the most popular bucktail. It's insane. So I can't imagine what's going to happen with the physical store being closed, doing in-store pickups, and the demand for, all bucktails and TA clips and leaders and all this kind of stuff. So it's daunting. And then you add into that the fact that a lot of these manufacturers are either closed, delayed. And then the thing that sort of the icing on the cake, the thing that makes it so difficult is you do orders with these companies, dating orders, big orders, right? They give you a certain amount of savings. It's sort of like doing pre-orders, you know what I mean? Like you do this order, we're going to give you an extra percentage off. We're going to give you longer terms to pay for it. All these kind of things that you guys probably don't think about, but are relevant to a business. Well, what happens when the biggest portion of your business just gets shut down, right? And all your customers go away, but you still owe this money. And the plan is that, you pay normally. So in the industry, we're known as one of the best paying businesses. I mean, we always pay on time, right? So with this, when you're doing these huge orders, right, that you're estimating that you're going to go because you're going to have business in the store and you're going to do all this kind of stuff, and all of a sudden that stops. The problem is that these manufacturers go, well, if you don't pay me X dollar amount right now, we're not going to sell you until you do, right? So, which is a sad thing because we've been doing business with these companies for 20, 30 years, and you would expect that they would say, oh, there's a pandemic. The governor shut down New York as they did in California. These are the first states closed down. You'd think that they would recognize that and just say, let's come up with a plan. And some of them did. Some of them are great. St. Croix is an example of a company that's just like, listen, we've been working with you guys forever. Just do your thing. Whatever you need from us, we're there for you. Yeah. And I said the same thing back to them, vice versa. Like if you need me to promote you during this thing or whatever, like let me know, we're in. Other companies don't do that. So you're sort of struggling with that, and you have to sort of be firm with them, which is when my brother Andrew comes in and just says, listen, if you don't continue doing business normally, we're never going to pay you, right? And you never want to say that to anybody because that's not the thing. This is, we're working together. We're working with Daiwa, we're working with St. Croix, we're working with Shimano and Penn, and blah, 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 all the way down to the little guys, especially like a company like S&S that we do just a tremendous amount with. And I have a ton of respect for Stanley and what he's done in relation to our business with all the John Skinner stuff.
But I guess, I think everybody is getting affected with this COVID, and I think like what I mentioned before in the show, like right after this, I keep telling this to people, that right after the COVID, this pandemic, things will change. There's going to be a big change in the market, in the business, and everything. And the question is, are we going to be up to that? Are we willing to make changes too? Like, I think you are making changes in your business. For example, the online business. So I think you are on the right path of doing your business as a tackle shop. For me,
remember, I have a firewall, right? I've cultivated an audience. I have a quote unquote following. I have a modicum of fame. The industry knows who I am, right? Yeah. So I'm always going to be okay, right? It's the smaller shops that I wonder about, who are sort of in the hobbyist side of things, who don't have, don't even have websites. Like, imagine being in business, I don't care what business it is, and not having a website. Like, to me, that's insane. But these people do it, and it's, I don't know how they're going to survive. A lot of these restaurants.
I've seen a lot of tackle shop here, and there's one tackle shop that I seen here, Pacifica. They closed down, and some of I think I heard the San Francisco too. The Gus, they're closing too. I think.
Oh, really?
Right. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But like, I guess the main problem, I think what causes them to close is the online business, Amazon, big company.
Sure.
So I think that's the main thing. So are you going towards that path, the online business? How do you see J&H Tackle in 5 years from now?
Well, it's really interesting in that I handle the web. My brother handles the physical store, right? But as time has gone on, I found that it was in the best interest of the online business for me to take more control of what happens in the store, right? In terms of just displaying product and how we buy. Now, it sounds like a weird thing, right? But you have pegs in a store, right? Let's say everything is a peg, meaning if you're going to hang a Rapala lure somewhere in the store, a bucktail, or even put a reel on a shelf, I call that a peg. Everything's a peg. Everything goes on a peg. Doesn't matter what it is. So that peg has value, right? It's in your store. People come into your store. There's a value to that peg, and that peg has to produce whatever number you think it needs to produce, right? Now, this is sort of businessy gobbledygook that's probably boring to a lot of people, but by changing that model and saying to my brother, you know, if you're gonna have a peg here, this peg can't stay empty for 3 days because you're just losing money, right? Every time a peg is empty, you're losing money and you're not following it properly. And it's not his fault. I'm just, you know, he's in charge, so I'm using him, but the whole idea was let's keep everything that we need to full. Let's not expand to crazy stuff that doesn't sell, hoping it will sell, and sort of double down on what works, right? So like Skinner Bucktails is a great example of that. Like I only have a single peg for everything, but in the back I have 5, 6, 7 dozen of everything, and I have Stanley pre-make stuff so that when things ramp up, we can ramp up. So basically, in a nutshell, by taking over control of the store in a certain way, I'm able to predict what's going to happen and couple that with our online presence and our web presence and what we do social media wise, right?
Yeah.
I could see, like, again, when I told you guys, like, people would come in and notice me and say, oh my God, you're the video guy. Right now they come in and they go like, hey man, I watched your live video on Instagram and my wife got pissed at me. I told her to shut up because I wanted to hear what you were saying. It'll be like funny, silly stuff like that. But it made me realize how powerful that medium was. You know, doing live videos. Again, I'm the only tackle owner who goes on live on Instagram and just says, hey, ask me questions. I will answer the vast majority of them, right?
Yeah.
And it's sort of insulated me. So my model is not to go towards an Amazon style, right? Where it's just like a warehouse. I really don't like that. It's the coldest thing and it's not my goal. My goal is if I can make you have more fun fishing, you know what I mean? If anybody watching this video tonight buys that dark matter rod or something similar, you don't have to buy from J&H. I'm not telling you have to buy from me, but if you buy something similar and you go out and you have a lot of fun and it changes your perspective on how you fish, then I've succeeded.
I like that.
Chances are I'll have you as a customer because if I give you the advice that you really need to hear, right? Meaning, why are you fishing with a Penn 320 GTI and an ugly stick, right? For example, why are you doing that in 2020? Well, I've been fishing for 40 years and I have the gravitas and the voice and the backing to say, you suck, right? And I'll say that to people. My joke, if anyone's ever been in the store will know, my joke is when people say that, I go, you're fishing with a VCR. You know, why not fish it, right? And it's the truth. It's why you should switch to something like the Luvius, right? As opposed to using this big, bulky.
How much is that Luvius? What are we talking about here? Like $500?
No, the Luvius, this one's between $350 and $400.
Wow.
But you don't have to fish this. Fish a Nasky. It's $100.
Yeah.
Fish a Daiwa BG. That's fine. You know, it's not, it's never a funny thing.
What's your favorite $100 saltwater spinning reel?
$100 saltwater spinning reel is, I mean, for most people, you can't go wrong with the BG. It's just stupid nice. But if you want a lightweight, like sort of this style inshore reel, you should step up a little bit and go with that Spheros SW. It's only a 3000 or 4000 model, but that's the way to go. And then my favorite high end is a Daiwa Certate 5K, which is just insane, right?
Yeah. Crazy smooth.
Crazy smooth, just
That's
ridiculous.
Yeah.
What I try to convey to people is this whole theory of have more fun fishing, right?
Yes.
And you don't have to spend $1 zillion. And I never tell people what they want to spend. You know, sometimes I'll tell people, like, they'll say like, hey, I want to do this. And I go, what's your budget? And they go like, oh, I have no budget. And I go, okay, get this Tate 5K with, with the Legend Extreme rod. They go, oh, no. I'm thinking like a $200 combo. Just say that. I don't care. You're not going to like make me think less of you if you say, hey, I've got $100 to spend. I think it's cool that you're spending $100 on fishing and that you're spending it with me. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I will give you the best one in that price range. Now I might say, hey, like bump up $20, you can get this. It's sealed. It's going to last you so much longer, right? But I don't try to do that nonsense where I absolutely people, people put, you guys are getting all this. People put Jerry Brown hollow core on reels that don't need Jerry Brown hollow core. And they do it all the time, right? Yeah. Now, Jerry Brown hollow core is a lot more money than, let's say, 300 yards of Power Pro.
Yeah.
I either personally call them or my coworkers call them and say, hey, listen, you don't need to spend $100 on braid. $30 will get the job done, or whatever the situation is.
Yep.
And sometimes they know that's what I want, but most of the time they go, oh, thank you so much for doing it, because I'd rather you get the right item than you get like this ridiculous thing that you're not gonna have fun with and that you feel you got ripped off on. You're gonna blame us. Well, they should have known better. Well, I can't read your mind. Some guys buy spinning reels and casting rods, and they really meant to buy a spinning rod, right? We usually call those people and just say, hey, I just want to double check. Are you using these two together? And that's the difference between the kind of business that I want to have and that sort of Amazon model,
like in a big box store. Yeah.
Big box. Right. So I'll watch Shark Tank. I enjoy it. It's a fun show.
Yeah.
But it's always just about moving units in a short period of time and then moving on. And that's not the business. My business model is more like the Gary Vee style, right? If you watch any of Gary Vee's type of videos, and I think he goes over it. I like Gary Vee. He's a really cool dude. I think his philosophy is amazing.
Yeah.
Yours is amazing too, little girl right there. But it's so much better than that. Make that widget, sell 1 billion of them, and then do what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I'd rather be part of a community, control the community, and sort of influence the industry, which is what I'm doing now in terms of not only customers, but in terms of the manufacturers and the buyers and what they're doing. Because I just know better than them, not to be arrogant or anything. Like, this is what I do for a living, right?
Yeah.
This is my skill set. I do this really well. So usually they listen to me and things go right, and sometimes they don't, and they don't go so well. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm wrong. That's why I have a team. Like, I have a team of 10 guys that I bump ideas off, and sometimes I say crazy things to them, and sometimes they say I'm right, sometimes they say I'm wrong, and sometimes I'm totally wrong because my outlook is not the same as them. You know what I mean? Sometimes they'll see a shirt and I'll go, oh, that thing's hideous, and meanwhile they'll sell a ton of them and all those kids will be wearing them. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I noticed that you do reach out to Instagram for guidance from the market, and so that's pretty cool. So
I mean, the latest giveaway is a fan giveaway. Let the fans pick. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's like, I can tell you.
We can pick a giveaway right now. Maybe Shimano or Stella.
Can the three of us in this live stream help pick a giveaway for you?
Man. Stella.
Sure. Okay, so all right. Well, hey, for anyone that follows Josh on Instagram, again, it's J&H Tackle on Instagram, so follow him there and subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's got probably the #1 tackle review, specifically like real review channels online. And so if you do follow him on Instagram, you do notice that he does give away a lot of stuff, and he has been reaching out to his followers for help on, hey, what should we give away next? So Adam, June,
we'll do a giveaway now. You guys want to do a giveaway now? This is super simple. So
let's do a giveaway.
In the chat, all you have to do is post a comment saying #J&H Tackle. Right. And at the end of this, I'll let you guys, Ish, I'll let you choose a winner, and we'll mail that person a $100 J&H gift card. How does that sound?
Oh, awesome, right?
That's cool. Wait, so for our 93 watchers,
77
you guys is gonna win a $100.
I see 93, but you guys could win a $100 gift card. So what is that? #J&H Tackle.
JANDHTACKLE. And then you guys, you three, and actually let your daughter there pick.
Yeah, we'll let your daughter pick, June.
And one of those guys is gonna win. And send me the info, email to me, and I will mail them a J&H gift card for $100. Easy.
See that? Well, yeah. So to bring it full circle, Josh is all about building that community, and that's why I think we have June on the line, who's built a huge, online community to support the fishing,
He's done a great-
community on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Josh is doing the same on the tackle front. And so to differentiate yourself between the big box stores and, small mom and pop shop, it's building into that community that makes a difference. So Josh, thank you so much for your time. It was really cool to get the inside information on what it's like to manage a tackle shop, what it's like to manage a tackle shop when social media plays a
I'd
huge
like to
role.
manage a taco shop too. I'd probably be 3 times as big.
Hey, unfortunately, all my local taco shops are shutting down, but we still throw in business. We do pickups. We actually just picked up sushi the other day, so we're gonna have to throw some love to our taco shops.
I mean, I support my local pizza place today. Like, don't buy Domino's or any of that. Just go to your local guy and get something, and spend $20 or whatever it is. Like, it's the way to go.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to buy from me again, I people don't want to buy from me. That's totally cool. That's not what this is about for me. I do want to say, since June is here, hopefully we can get this tournament back on. I can come
man.
and I can meet all of you guys in person. I'll bring Brian with me. You can meet him, and maybe I'll even bring the rod. I'm gonna mail you guys rods you can play with. You can give me feedback. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you'll like this sort of different way of fishing. And we'll start something different. You know what I mean? We'll make it more fun to fish, get more people fishing West Coast, San Francisco area, Pacifica, that kind of stuff. And, just have a lot of fun. I mean, that's what it's about. Fishing is about having fun. And that's my main goal. I know that's Jun's main goal. And, let's do it up.
Yeah. So Josh, with that said, thank you very much. It sounds like you got a lot of things happening at the J&H household. So we'll let you get back to that and managing an awesome business. So, man, props to you. Thanks so much for that offer for everyone watching, and keep it up, man. There's really sky's the limit for J&H.
I will.
Thanks for joining us, Josh.
Keep in touch. You know where I am. You know how to reach me.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Awesome.
Bye, Josh. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
You too.
Josh.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
I like him.
I
like him a lot.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people in the comments, they were appreciative of the business end of things, and I'm always fascinated by that stuff because you see the face on YouTube, you see the face on Instagram, and I love getting into the details of what it takes to not only get to where they were, but where they want to go next. We kind of did the same for Senko Skipper. We kind of did the same with Taku. Of course, I could ask Taku all day about food, but I'll let him do that on his channel. But what I want to know are the things that he won't reveal himself, on his channel. Josh did the same here with the behind the scenes stuff. So that was cool.
I think what makes him really different from other tackle shop is he's really hands-on to his client.
Yeah.
And that what makes him different. I mean, his relationship with his client is really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he definitely separates himself from 99.9% of tackle distributors out there because he is obviously, a small business that has positioned himself to sit beside the big guys, right? So, like there's this marketing term. So for those of you that a lot of people ask, like, what do we do in our real lives? I actually have a marketing background. My job is in marketing. And there's this textbook term called evoke set. Have you guys ever heard that? Evoke set?
No.
Okay. So if you think of okay, so when I say a word, I want you guys to tell me the 3 name brands that come to mind, okay? So Adam, I'll go with you first and then June, okay? So soda. What are the 3 brands you think of first? Just
Coca-Cola, Sprite, and Pepsi.
all right, June, what about you?
Coke, Pepsi, Gatorade.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so that was your evoke set. When you heard a keyword, soda, your evoke set were the 3 names that came to your head. And how do you do that? Well, you have millions of dollars of marketing, ad campaigns to convince you to think of their product whenever you think of a certain term or keyword. It's not because you maybe like Coke better than most. It's, maybe you have because they conditioned you at an early age. Yeah, okay, so you don't like any of them, but those are the name brands you thought of because you've seen advertisement, you've seen placement of their brand in so many touch points in your life that when you think of the word soda, you think of soda. You said Sprite, right?
Yeah.
Coke owns Sprite, so that's two
Yeah.
Coke brands that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
2 to 3 ones all come from one company. June, you mentioned Coke, Pepsi, and Gatorade. Pepsi owns Gatorade, and so those are two brands from PepsiCo that are stuck in your head when I said the word soda. Gatorade's not even a soda, so they convince you to think of Gatorade when you
I
say the
can't
word
think of
soda.
anything anymore.
Yeah. So what I would bring that up because in my Evoke set of brands or tackle, when I'm going online to look for stuff, I think of Amazon,
J&H.
I think of Tackle Warehouse, and I think of J&H. This little shop in Long Island, New York, that has done a good enough job to convince me to think of them when I think of that next, thing I don't need to buy that I really want to buy. So
Yeah.
congrats to Josh. I know a lot of guys are that are watching. They maybe don't know Josh, maybe this tackle talk stuff isn't their speed, but this is the kind of stuff that interests me, and that's why we had Josh on. So thanks to you guys for sitting through that. We do have 93
I kind of feel
watching.
bad though now because I
Why?
thought of we kind of don't you think we put him in a spot like giving away those stuff?
No, no, you know what? It's good. It's good business. The people in the chat, they're entering, and frankly, I have no idea. He put us on the spot because I don't know how we're gonna fairly pick somebody. That's hashtag
we're
J&H
getting
Tackle
the dark
in the
matter.
comments.
We're getting the dark matter. Dude,
You heard him. He said he was gonna send you one, and then I maybe bullied him into sending me one. So we'll see.
yeah.
But yeah. So
Actually, that's the prize. That's one of the prizes for the tournament.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Yes.
Dude, I know he was talking about it, and he said it was better than your Shimano Dialuna, and all of a sudden I'm like,
It's similar. I think it's better because the good now the trend now going on a surf casting. He mentioned this to me. It's the short arm.
Yeah.
Which it kind of makes
I'm
sense.
curious
I
about
like
the
it.
short arm. Like I personally, I don't know. Maybe it's just because what I've used before, but I feel like the long arm, I don't know. It's better for casting. I feel like you get more like leverage.
That's because you're a tall, half Caucasian guy.
I think for the long arm, that's why you need a long arm. It's for the heavy lures. You're throwing lures, 6 ounce, 10 ounce lure. You need a low arm with that, like power cast.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, if you're
for
like
short arm, you don't need with a 1 ounce lure. You just flick it.
Yeah, you just fling it out there. Yeah, I think the long arm are more of an East Coast thing where you're throwing those big pencils, those 3 ounce poppers. The West Coast, I mean, you can just dink stuff. I mean, I do have some old school stuff that I'll probably never ever catch a fish on just because it's cool to have. But I mean, a majority of the stuff I've thrown, like Josh said, our fishery is our striper surf fishery compared to what it was on the East Coast is small. It's a fraction of that.
Yeah.
And so the average fish that you're going to catch is probably in the 20s, 20 inches. So you're talking about like a 4-pound fish. So you don't need a presentation, to target like the big 50 pounders that might be rolling through. A lot of hardcore guys that only throw the big stuff will argue that. But a majority of the fish that I see caught, that I've caught myself, are all in the 20s or something. So why not target the big fish with the lighter stuff? And you know what? Nowadays with braid, with the reels that are out there, with the kind of rods and the materials that are going into those rods, you can handle huge fish with light gear. I think
Adam landed a 20-pounder on a salmon rod.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of, before we lose some people, I wanted to keep this an hour a day, but it looks like we're gonna go to 2 hours. We've been teasing a big announcement, and I a couple episodes ago said that it was gonna be maybe a life-changing announcement for one of us. And so I just wanted to clear the deck here. Josh, thank you very much, but now it's Adam's turn to shine. Adam, you've been quiet the last hour and a half. And so maybe I just gave it away. But can any of you guys that are, dude, everyone's like J&H Tackle, J&H Tackle. Hopefully you see me, J&H Tackle, J&H Tackle. I wanna ask anyone in the chat. Can anyone guess? Number one, who the person on this live stream is gonna announce with the big news, and what that big news is. So maybe we'll give you guys 30 seconds.
I've been feeling what people are going to say, and it's not true what I think they're going to say, but we'll see.
Oh, Jay Chino says baby time.
Wait.
Adam's pregnant. Adam's gonna have a kid. He's getting married or he's having a kid. Adam's gonna be a daddy. One last time, J&H Tackle. Adam's having. Dude, everyone is saying Adam is having a baby.
Yeah,
Adam,
you know what?
no
You
pressure,
know why
bro.
Adam is getting a baby? Because they're tired of us having babies.
Mhm. Yeah, they're tired of seeing June have the baby. They know that Ish with fish is done. He wants to be more about fish than Ish with kids. So Adam, you're really like the last person to have a baby. But plus, frankly, I want to see you have a baby so you can stop catching all my damn fish.
So that he stopped fishing.
Yeah. So I kind of thought this was going to happen. I thought this is what people would say, but unfortunately for Ish and June, who want me to have a kid, unfortunately that's not happening yet. But there is big news coming, and drum roll, I've officially, and some people actually, okay, Ish and June, I think you guys, and actually I told Danny, so you guys are the only ones that I've told. Everyone else who's watching right now, the 96 people, you guys are at the inside scoop. So officially, I have gone full-time YouTube.
Hey, he's
Oh.
chasing the dream, everybody.
So
He's-
some people have kind of like suspected. I think a few comments in my last video were like, "Damn, Adam, how are you going fishing every day?" Because I've been trying to do 3 videos a week,
That's
and
tough
I've
to
been able
beat,
to
man.
the last few weeks because I've been on a decent bite, and I've been able to put out some good content. So yeah, that's the big news for me. I'm gonna do an official like video release, drop out to like announce everything on my channel on Monday. So you guys will see that. But yeah, so officially I'm full-time YouTube, which I know I can't thank you guys. I can't thank my wife as well enough, because obviously, you know, I'm a smaller channel. I don't even have 30,000 subscribers yet. My views are not at a level where they're able to support me, especially living in the Bay Area where everything's so expensive. But yeah, so I appreciate all of your guys' support, as well as you know, Ish, June, all the other YouTubers who have helped me to get to, you know, even though I'm not a giant here, but helped me to get where I am. Wouldn't be here without you guys. So
yeah.
thank you.
It all comes to
Sorry.
it all comes down to the subscribers. Without the viewing audience and you 93 beautiful people in the chat box right now, it really takes the community to get a channel to a point where somebody can make that decision to go full time. And so for anyone here that has watched Adam from the beginning, there's a good chance you found him by recommendations from myself, June, Matt. He's by this time fished with all the big guys. And so he's that guy that is, you know, started out where you guys can start out, and he's putting in his time, and he's reached that point where he's going to make the commitment to try to chase the dream and take it full time, like the Matts, like the Takus. And so me personally, I'm so excited because he's the most relatable person, because I feel like his style of content is most relatable to me. I mean, he's not the best cook, but he catches the most fish. I always say this to people if they ask me like who's the best fisherman, at least on YouTube. Frankly, the best fisherman is that OG Asian guy that doesn't say anything, that like flips you off when you walk past them on the beach. Those guys are the best fishermen. But there's a difference between being the best fisherman and the best fisherman on YouTube. So as far as being the best angler, it's 100% Adam. I remember like when we had our
Wait,
first.
I thought you said it's me.
June, I'm about to knock you out. This is not your time. So
Okay.
June. Oh, speaking of June, I remember when we were planning the the first YouTuber off. It was me, Adam, June, and Matt. So I remember like June asking me.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's because all that hypothermia killed your brain cells when I made both you guys jump in the water. But I remember like Adam saying, or June saying, "Who are you worried about the most?" I was like, well, frankly, Adam, because he pure angler is the best angler that I know. And how does it translate on YouTube? Well, that doesn't matter right now because I don't want to jump in the water. He's the best angler, and I've always thought that. And so as far as skill and putting fish on film, Adam is the guy around here, in my opinion. And I'm hoping that will take you to the big time. So congratulations, dude.
Congratulations, bro.
Can we all get some clap emojis in the chat, please? We need some clap emojis, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate
Hey, do you have any
it, guys.
what do you call that again? The
without you
donation
guys, so-
thingy on your page? Something? You have a website, right?
Yeah.
You guys.
So that's I guess the next, it's going to be a multi-part announcement, and I'll give more details that, like I said, on Monday I'm going to be dropping a video on my channel. But yes, I do have a website, and I just literally published it, made it live today. It's called diehardfish.com. So, and I put it up there, and then, to go with the website, if you have a website, you got to have some merch. So I got these shirts here. They're dry fit.
Oh,
there you go,
shoot.
Ish. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is it. Like I said, I just dropped it today, so it's going to be evolving. But for now, I have, a couple of shirts. These
You're wearing one right now, right?
Yep. These white logo, or the white, there's white, blue, and olive green, as you can see there. And then I have some stickers there as well. So, if you want to check it out, feel free to go ahead. And yeah, so on Monday, I'm going to be doing, like I keep saying this, but on Monday, I'm doing a video. And until Tuesday, I'm doing free shipping and a free sticker with all orders. So if you want to get anything, I know people have asked about merch for like whatever, tens of thousands of years. Yeah, it's finally there. And I will say, I have to thank my wife, Mrs. Die Hard Fishing. She designed this t-shirt. And then, hold on, let me see if I can get this the back as well.
Nice.
Get better on the website.
Yeah. Nice.
But anyway, it's a cool design. A little surf perch there. I kind of wanted to start with this one because that's kind of where my channel started. My first official video was me surf perch fishing, and it's kind of where I started fishing too when I was a kid. The surf was my second home, I guess you could say.
I think 90% of the people here probably started fishing. If they fish the surf, they're targeting perch. Everyone targets perch. So that's pretty cool because you know what? You're representing the West Coast. You're representing the Bay Area, California. So thanks. So yeah, if you guys want to support somebody just starting out, as far as trying to take it, full time, definitely visit diehardfish.com.
Yep.
Not fishing. Yeah, somebody sniped that one, right? Diehardfishing.com.
Yeah, Die Hard Fishing was a little bit out of the smaller YouTube budget. So yeah, Die Hard.
So diehardfish.com. Pick up a shirt. Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool to see how far Adam's come. And you guys should have known that he was gonna go full time and take it serious because look, he finally took his background almost to the point where it's like acceptable. I mean, we can't see his hair
And his eyebrow too.
and his eyebrows and things are disappearing, but it's close. It's close.
Yep.
He's hiding that bathroom very well. So that's how you knew when there's always gonna be technical difficulties on the Die Hard side, but hey, that's why we all love Adam. So congrats, Adam, man. That's really cool. I'm so happy to share it with everyone. Hey, it looks like we got some donations coming through. I think I'm roughly counting like $7. Again, that goes to the live stream pot. We'll do something with all that in the future. So congratulations, man.
Support
Yeah, I'm
Die Hard.
and I will say, like you kind of said, I'm a fishing channel, so just to give you guys an idea of what's coming next, it's like I'm gonna continue to do that for now at least, and I'm gonna just fish as hard as I can. Hence the name Die Hard Fishing. But yeah, I'm gonna be trying to put out 3 videos a week. We'll see how that goes, and
grind.
And people I'm not gonna lie, I've been on a good halibut bite as of late. And the ones that I posted, they're not even as good as the one that I'm gonna post next week. So,
Dude, I thought that was already.
I'm not gonna say anymore, but
dude,
it's coming. So yeah, and also when I did say that, I don't remember, it was like episode 3 or 4. I said my goal was to catch 20-pound halibut, lingcod, salmon, striped bass. I knew this was going to happen, so I don't think this. I'm almost going to guarantee that when
you caught a 20-pounder.
No, I'm just saying. I set the goal knowing that I'm going to be able to fish, a lot more.
Yeah. I think you'll get it.
So we'll see.
Yeah, you'll get
it. But yeah, once again, can't thank you guys, the viewers, enough. This was kind of like when I first started the channel. This was like a far off dream that like I thought maybe I could take a shot at someday, but wasn't really sure. And yeah, here I am giving it a shot. We'll see how it goes.
Here we are.
Yeah, and I have to give a shout out also to my wife because, like I said,
the biggest of shout outs.
Yeah, I guess
How much?
sorry. I love all-
How much of a cut is she getting? Because it's never free. If you're married, nothing's free. How much of a cut is she getting?
Yeah, she's getting 100% cut.
No,
basically.
it should be the other way around. How much cut do you get?
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good point.
Yeah, how many shekels do you get out of it? Hey, well, actually, I want to share.
I sacrifice all my shekels to go fishing. So.
Damn, dude, that's pretty amazing. So, I mean, if for anyone that knows Adam, get in line, because for the rate he catches fish, there's no way that two people and Olaf can eat that much fish. So if I'm not second in line behind your parents, let me be like third or fourth, because I know there's some striper and halibut and lingcod coming my way, because I'm not catching shit right now. Hey,
Let's
okay,
hope sometime I can be like Taku and just do a barbecue for everyone. So then, everyone.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we'll get you to that point where you're just gonna be all day with fillets, all day with fillets.
And a fillet for you, and a fillet for you.
Hey, because don't forget about me, guys. I have a YouTube channel too. I'm always recording, and you never know what's gonna happen. I actually recorded the moment I met June. I recorded the moment I met Adam, and I'd like to play that really quick. Let's take a trip. Let's go back in time.
You're gonna make me cry.
And let's see the moment truly Die Hard Fishing was born. Because frankly, it takes.
I'm pretty sure you like quadrupled my sub count at this point. But anyways.
I took them from 20 to like 39, I think, in one night. So I mean, it just boom, blew up. But no, really, like this is how behind the scenes, like you guys probably wonder, like, how do you YouTubers find each other? Well, sometimes it's just by chance that we run into each other out there, and we recognize each other's content, and then we see each other out there, and then before you know it, we're fishing together all the time, and we're putting together crappy live streams like this. So let's take it way back to 2017 at the Sand Crab Classic, before the world was taken over by some Wuhan flu bat virus. Let's spin the wheels back in time and take the subs a trip down memory lane. We're going back again to the Sand Crab Classic, the moment that Ish with Fish, your boy, met your new favorite boy, Adam Marino, aka Die Hard Fishing. Let's see if I can do this.
I want to see this.
What the hell? It says I need to install. I need a password. What? Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me try this again.
Right now.
Let me try this again. Everyone, save your tears. And here it is, probably without sound. Is it playing? Is it playing?
I can see the screen. Hit the play button.
Here we go. This is me walking down to a beach to meet some friends for the Sand Crab Classic. A YouTuber in the wild. Look at this guy. Look how young he is. This is before all the YouTube wrinkles. Look at that. The moment I met Die Hard Fishing.
I still have it.
Do you? There it is.
That was the day.
That was the day. Die Hard Fishing. Wasn't born, but got a nice kick in the pants to get to 100 subscribers.
Was he wearing shorts?
Please, come on.
Do I need to go back?
I didn't see it. I wasn't paying attention. I saw it, but I wasn't paying attention on his shorts. What is he wearing?
Of course, he was wearing shorts.
I've never been sighted in the surf without shorts. So.
Yeah. If you guys ever see a picture of or Adam with waders on, take a picture, because it's probably for like some kind of YouTuber giveaway that he's doing. Dude, because that will never happen unless there's a purpose behind it.
I'm editing a video with me and Adam fishing. We fish at Bay Area, and he's wearing pants. Oh no! And oh my god, everything went bad on him.
I know. I want to see the video. I hear about it. I want to see it too. Hey, so you guys, we're coming up on damn, dude, almost a 2-hour mark again. I always promised myself that we're gonna have a 1-hour show one day, but it just things happen. And yeah, so how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna pick that J&H Tackle $100 gift card winner?
Just do it, man. Do whatever you think you can do. You know, I think
we do this
fairly.
Okay, I don't know how we're gonna do this, guys. Can I scroll through? Oh, I can scroll through the comments. Okay, I can scroll through the comments. How are we gonna do this? And again, I'm gonna I don't know. Has to be a way where we can blindly pick, so people can't say, "Oh, you picked that guy because you know him." Okay, here. How about this? Adam, pick a number between 1 and 10.
Like-
Jimmy, pick a number between 1 and 10, and then I'm gonna randomly scroll and then count down from a comment down that many numbers to a name. Okay? Does that fair?
Like you can track it down. There's a numbers. Sorry about the background. There's
there
a
numbers?
time. There's a time.
Oh, I can't.
So maybe
see
we
that.
can pick on a cell
Okay,
phone.
June. All right, June. I'm gonna give you a number.
Okay, give me a number.
5. Adam, give him a number.
1.
Okay, 51. Go
51.
back, look for the first 51 timestamp, and if it says J&H Tackle, that
I
first
see.
one.
I see 151 here. 51. There's a lot actually. There's a lot.
Alright.
Okay.
A lot. A lot.
Okay. Whatever screen you're on, pick the 6th one down from the top.
Yeah, there you go.
6. Okay, let's see.
Who was it?
51. Because I think that's the time that we announced it.
Oh,
All right. J&H Tackle. Oh, sorry about the background again. Number 1 is Lapu Lapu. That's a number 1 on the 51. Lapu Lapu 54. And
so is that the winner?
Wilkins, number 2, Wilkins. Number 3 is
Oh, so you're announcing the first
Michael
5 losers.
yeah, I'm saying the
Okay,
losers
like,
right
just
now.
too early.
Number 4, Sam Lee. Number 5, Kali. And number 6 is
The winner of the $100 gift card,
Barrett Fish.
Ed Cortez. Cortez.
Ed Cortez.
Cortez.
Ed Cortez.
It's on 7:51 time. Ed
Ed-
Cortez. Let me
Ed
double check
Cort-
that. Let me double check. Okay, I don't want to get
Ed Cortez, are you still here? Dude, if you're not here, you should pick the guy after Ed Cortez as the backup.
hold on. 3.
Oh, there is.
Oh, there he is. Ed Cortez. Email me at ishwithfish@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
right. Ed Cortez.
Yeah. Email me at ishwithfish at gmail.com to claim your prize, and I'll get you connected to Josh. Ed Cortez.
Nice.
Okay. Who's the one after him, just in case Ed can't get it together?
Okay, one after him. One after or before?
The one right after Ed Cortez that says hashtag J&H Tackle.
Because Lapu Lapu put up like 20,000 J&H hashtag here.
That's smart.
It's going to be no, I'm gonna have to skip him because I counted the first one. NorCal Fisherman is the number 7. after him.
Okay. NorCal Fisherman.
Yeah.
NorCal Fisherman, email me as backup at ishwithfish@gmail.com as backup in case Ed Cortez sucks. Okay. Ed
Sorry, man,
Cortez.
Lapu Lapu. He was like, shucks.
He's like, are you fucking serious? How many times did I have to? I have carpal tunnel from all the times I wrote hashtag J&H Tackle. Wow, that was pretty cool. You know what? We
That
didn't
was nice, actually.
we didn't plan that $100 gift card. That was really nice of Josh to.
Very
$100.
generous.
That's a lot. That can buy you some
A
nice
lot.
stuff.
Get
so.
a BG with that.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, we definitely. Well, you know what? It does give us an idea of what to use with all the donations that have come through. So maybe we'll do it in the chat, or maybe we'll do it through a video or something like that. But yeah. So
But
there
hey,
you have it.
we're getting a rod too.
I hope. It sounds like you are. But
No, you guys. I thought he said you guys are getting one too to get a
We'll
test.
see.
if we do, don't tell the subs because they're gonna think of us as not one of them. They're gonna be like, oh, look
Fell
at
out.
those
I
guys.
think that Dark Matter will be really good rod.
Yeah.
It's similar to Daluna. I love the Daluna.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys jumping in the water again once I catch the game-winning fish again. So, as good as Adam is, didn't win when it counted. So,
Here's the thing. Now that I'm going during the week, I can go scope out the beach and.
oh God, if you guys don't watch, you guys probably watch Adam, but seriously, like he's been on a freaking crazy run, and no, I can't do it. I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna let you guys tune in and watch out. This guy's full time now, so give him a view. Don't just give him a view. Watch the video all the way through, and then replay
Yep.
it, and then comment. Okay, that's all you.
Don't skip the ads.
Don't skip the ads. This guy needs his pennies. Those pennies matter. Elizabeth is gonna be like, "Where's my pennies, bitch?"
There's a donation thingy website. What do you call that again? Like a GoFundMe for creators.
Yeah, I don't know.
Patreon.
I'm trying not to do it, so we'll see.
Oh, you're not trying to do that. Okay.
You know.
Hey, everyone else does.
Okay, we'll say if you want to like, sorry, what issue was that?
Oh, sorry, I just had a little cold or something.
Oh, I want to say 6 feet away from Ish, but anyway, sorry. Yeah, I don't want to do the Patreon, so I'm trying to stay away from that for now. But I will say, like, you know, any other YouTuber that has merch, that's I guess the next closest thing to Patreon, because
Yeah.
you know, you're basically donating money to the person who's putting that out.
If Adam doesn't want to e-beg, which what I've heard people call Patreon, really the best thing you could do is watch this video all the way through, replay it, and just watch it again, or play it, let it play, and then like and comment, because that does huge
honestly, like
things
just the support
to
on the
videos.
channel itself is way, I don't know, I'm just still new to this, I just started, but in my opinion that's way more like beneficial to the creator than actually, you know, donating money.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, you know, one thing we didn't do, we really haven't answered any questions from the subs that are watching. We still have 93 people. I think we still have 93 people watching. It's not quite a record, but we're getting close to the 100 mark. So yeah, so AMA time. We'll close out the show with this. If you guys have anything to ask us, feel free to throw them up there. June, Adam, if you see anything you want to answer, feel free to shoot in.
We'll see.
Ish
Let's
doesn't
go,
have
guys.
COVID.
Throw some questions.
Somebody says, Kumba Boy Y says, Ish has COVID, he is coughing. I do have allergies, I don't have COVID. Well, frankly, I don't know, because I don't want to get that Q-tip. Have you ever seen those videos where they show what it's like to get tested for COVID? They take a Q-tip that's this long, it goes up your nose at least 7 inches. So they take a swab in your sinus cavity, 7 inches. They take a swab of your sinus cavity behind your eyeball, like right underneath your frontal.
Your nose doesn't go up 7 inches.
It does. Your sinus cavity goes up, and it's like right behind your forehead. So your frontal lobe is like right here, your brain.
Well, I'm not gonna let them do that.
They take a swab like up here, so you can. I haven't done it yet, but I have 2 friends that are doctors that have done it. They have to do it regularly, and they said they can feel the swab like behind their eyeball and their forehead. They said it's painful. It really sucks. Don't put yourself in a position to catch it, because
it's like touching your brain.
Yeah, and it comes out bloody every time. So I might have COVID. I'm not sure. I hope not. Knock on wood. But if I have to get tested, that's gonna suck. I think I have allergies. Yeah. You guys look up a video of what it's like to get swabbed for COVID. It's pretty nasty. Like a legit hospital swab, not like a at-home kit where you have 15% a wiggle room, like a legit hospital one. It's crazy. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. This was about the subs, not about my frontal lobe nightmare test.
Yeah, I think someone was asking at one point. They asked if I had any sponsors, and no, currently I don't.
Where's that Runkle money,
man?
man?
I'm still a small channel, a small fry in the pot. So someday I may, but yeah. So, and I honestly, I like the small channel vibe. I can connect more with the viewers, and yeah, I just like that vibe better. So currently, no, I don't.
Yeah. Bay Area Fishing Adventures asks, Ish or June, not Adam, because he probably assumes you've caught one already. Have you ever guys caught a sea bass? I've never come close to sea bass. I've heard reports, and I've been in the area when they've, been reported to be around, but I have never caught one. I do have a kayak though, and so I think my chances are better than June, because June does not have a kayak. So I'm gonna answer for June. He's not here right now. He's probably never caught one either. Adam, have you ever caught one? A white sea bass?
I have, actually. I've caught 2 in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're really good eating. They're super hard to catch. Maybe like if you're more experienced. I mean, I just don't have that experience, but but yeah, they're from what they're super skittish. So like when there's a lot of boat traffic, people try to keep it on the down low when they're in, because if there's a lot of boat traffic, or the sun's not right, or just like whatever, the barometric pressure is a penny off, whatever, they just don't eat. So yeah, they're a tricky one to catch, but if you can get them, they get to like 60 pounds and they taste really good.
Yeah.
It's one for sure. That's one thing that I haven't got on film yet, and I want to. One of a few things.
So as we know, YouTube rule number 1, if you don't have a video of it, it never happened. So Adam has never caught a white sea bass either.
Although I do have a picture on my website now.
of a white sea bass? Is it on there? Go to diehardfish.com. Again, let's just like crush the GoDaddy server. Go to diehardfish.com. Apparently he has a picture of a white sea bass. Actually, I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. I'll check it out when I go
at the
order
bottom
the shirt.
of the homepage.
Bottom of the homepage. Okay.
But,
black sea bass. Yeah, you just caught a black sea bass. That's
I
awesome.
caught a black sea bass, which is they're not related at all. I don't think, at least they don't look similar, but for some reason they have really similar names, which actually is probably, well, no, for sure it's more rare because they're critically endangered. And yeah, that's cool catch. Honestly, I'd probably prefer a white sea bass because you can keep it and you can eat it. But yeah, it was nice to catch one of those. It's really, dude, those things are like, okay, it was probably like, I don't know, maybe like 35 inches, 32 inches long, but like around, it's like a grouper. I mean, it's like a thick fish.
That's
just
crazy.
Like pure power in that tail.
I wouldn't know, but congratulations, Mr. Full-Time. Lapu Lapu 54 says, what's the best starter reel and rod for perch and striper? So I put a lot of time to think about this, and I was planning on making a video eventually, but I don't know if I can go out and fully show something. But in my mind, for, like you said, starter reel and rod, it's hard to beat an Akuma SST rod. That's a salmon rod. Get the medium one, like 9 foot. You can find those rods for like 50-60 bucks, and I really like the Daiwa Fuego LT. That is their kind of lower end mag sealed reel that has like a mag seal where the spool meets the main shaft. And why do I pick that reel? Because if you go on eBay, you can find them often for like less than $80, and they're really light. They feel really good if you're just targeting perch. It's hard, in my opinion, to find a reel that can take consistent splashes without it seizing. I have one. I don't feature it too much because I've been using a lot of other stuff, but I still actually I caught a perch on it the other day. I'll show you guys in the future video. But the Akuma SST rod, for the money, that combo with like decent like 20-pound braid for about $120, I think that's a good launching point for almost anyone. And you can definitely handle like a small striper with it. So that's my opinion. Adam, any recommendations?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a tackle junkie like Ishwa, so honestly, I'd probably take Ishwa's advice on this one. But I really like my BG. I just got it maybe towards the end of the striper season last year. I will say that it's a little heavier and a little bigger than a 4000 of a different brand like Shimano or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's been smooth, really smooth. The drag's good. Nothing's failed on it so far. So yeah, I think it's a solid reel.
Yeah, I see people recommending like a ugly stick combo or Shakespeare combo. So there is a really good the 9 foot ugly stick GX2, the 9 foot one. You can find that rod for like $39. That rod is cool. However, I had one and I only used it like a few times, but it is a little heavier compared to the Akuma SST, and the guides oftentimes aren't like in alignment because they just pump those out at their factory, and the quality control isn't great. And I noticed when you cast, like it doesn't flick your presentation. It kind of like has this huge like arc, and I don't know, you can't put it where you want to put it. Like with an SST rod, you aim, you point, you throw, and it goes where you want. The GX2, it doesn't quite do that. And the Reel Seat 2, it's kind of sloppy. It doesn't stay tight. And any of those combo reels, like a Shakespeare reel that might come with a Shakespeare combo or a ugly stick branded reel, it will die in like 3 saltwater outings. So spend a little more. I mean, you know, I always like review like cheap reels, but if you want something that's going to last and actually has like decent performance, an Akuma SST rod and a Daiwa Fuego LT, specifically the 2500 XH, because that is the high speed small reel, and that one will get your presentations back to you faster. Because in the surf, you know, when you're casting out, you do got to cover some ground. And so for such a small reel, it's pretty fast, and so it'll get your stuff back consistently. So June, do you have any recommendations for a starter setup
For me, I always get that a lot. But I always ask the person who asked me if how are you gonna fish? Is this going to be just, for example, in a year, how many times you're gonna fish? If you're gonna be like just fishing, just a hobby, just one time in a year, and then you're gonna stop, and then just go with a cheap one. You will catch striped bass with a mono line with a $30 combo. I caught a striped bass with a combo, $30 combo rod and reel. So it doesn't really matter. Just use bait. Just use sand crabs. So, but if you are going to be, you're going to be a fisherman. You're going to fish for every week or twice a week. Then you better get a Shimano Dialuna and a Van Staal VR50 because it will last long. It will last long.
Yeah, like June said, you can definitely catch anything with anything. Really, I think I've proved that with all my Doc Demon and crappy rods. But if you want stuff that's comfortable, because as your skill set evolves, you'll realize that your cheap gear can hold you back, can be heavy, might wear on you, or you know, might start failing, might start creaking, things might not operate open and close the way they should. The more you spend, the more, say, performance, but longevity you'll get, and you'll just enjoy fishing that much more. I mean, if you've never thrown like a proper like $300, let's say $300 setup, like $150 rod, $150 reel, there's a big difference between that and like a $40 Walmart combo. And to me, the difference is worth it if you're into fishing as much as I think you guys are. So that's that. And yeah, the cork version of the SST rod is better. That's what my pink rod actually is. It's a SST rod, and it's the cork version is pretty cool. Let's see. Adam, Kalisa or Lucky Craft? Ooh,
That's a loaded question for sure.
Loaded question.
Here's
depends who gives.
It use code Ish for the Fish for 10.5% discount, by the way.
Yeah, diehard. Use code diehard. But anyways, you know, people. This is like the biggest question I think in surf fishing right now. And honestly, like, you know, I don't have a definitive like, oh, I'm all gun ho on one side or the other. But here's what I'll say. So they're almost the same. They both catch fish. The few differences that I will note is, well, for one, the Kalisa is a little cheaper. Two, the Kalisa casts slightly better. Three, the hooks I think are slightly stronger on the Kalisa, although if you're going to catch big fish, neither one of those stock hooks is going to work. Then four, I think the action on the Lucky Craft is slightly better, but you know, again, it's not proven by science. It's just my personal experience with the two. I don't know. What do you guys think?
June?
For me, it's the same thing. I agree with Adam. For me, it doesn't really matter. I thought they were the same. I don't see any difference. I fish with LC and Kalisa, but right now I've been using Kalisa and I've been catching fish with Kalisa. Like today, I went out today and I caught a 27-inch striped bass.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on a Kalisa. But I think it's really on how much you wanted to really catch a fish on the lure. So I think both lures will work the same.
Yeah, honestly, what I would say is, like, you know, regardless of Lucky Craft, Kalisa, whatever your preference is, like catching them on a lure is like, well, one, be careful because it's super addictive, but it's just, I don't know, the experience is like totally different than catching it on a sand crab. Even though, you know, sand crab is you know, you'll probably catch more fish on a sand crab and you don't have to put in as much work. But when you catch it on the lure, it's like
Fun.
you're hooked, or at least for me. At least,
It's
I
a drug.
went first time. I caught one on it was the first lure that I caught a striper on was the SG minnow, and like, well, that year I fished like, should have had a YouTube channel back then because I was fishing a lot back then.
Yeah, didn't you say you caught 1,000 stripers on that broken rod that we
Yeah,
did the send off
The
to?
last rod I had, so I had that rod for like, I forgot. I think it was like 15 years. So over the course of its lifetime, I'm pretty sure I put 1,000 striper on that.
Wow.
So
Damn.
That's a lot.
Damn.
it's all
Yeah.
it's all just how much time you put in. For me,
Yep.
at least. You put in more time. Obviously, your lures in the strike zone longer, and you just get more like experience of like what fish are when they're biting, what they're gonna hit, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
any more questions? Anybody?
someone said sand crab is illegal in Washington.
Sand crabs are illegal. Oh
illegal?
yeah. Aftershock Phil says sand crabs are illegal in Washington. Maybe the population's in
Why?
decline and they're trying to protect them. I don't know.
I never heard that, but
They're trying to protect sand crabs?
I know that they have a 50 sand crab limit. You can only have 50 in possession in California, right?
Here.
Yeah.
Here, but in Washington, you can't. What if you step on one of those? Because you like walking on the beach, you step one of the soft, especially
Boom.
soft shells.
You
Oh
know,
my
like-
gosh.
Maybe they just don't want you putting a hook through them because they're, I don't know.
maybe it's their
Sensitive or rare?
state shellfish.
Yeah.
Oh.
Master Blast
But yeah,
Official
man,
says,
ju-
answer the
just-
questions,
just-
Ish. What were the questions? Did I miss something?
Yes.
Kalisa or Elsie, is that the question? But yeah,
Oh.
man, just use sand crabs. You'll catch a fish, especially here in California, man. Sand
Yeah.
crab is the best, is the way.
Best halibut setup from shore. Justin Ruffman asks. I've always had luck with the drop shot. I copied Rodney Marquez's drop shot technique. Caught a halibut. Works for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, Ish, I think you've caught just as many, if not more, shore halibut than me. But yeah, to me, like drop shot is probably the best bet. I
Don't
honestly,
act surprised.
once, like you said before, if there's no video, it doesn't count. But I honestly, I caught a halibut one time on a sand crab.
Really? Well, that makes sense. I mean, in the surf though, right?
Yeah, in the surf.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I mean, what other forage are they going to be chasing other than
Bait
like
fish.
small bait fish, right?
I don't know.
I've heard of
Never
guys in
heard of
SoCal
anyone
catching
else
on
doing it,
sand
but
crabs.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Have you caught a lingcod on a sand crab?
No, but
I
you
don't
know
see
what?
why not.
They
That's
eat
a-
crabs.
try
or at least
it.
Crab zone eat crabs, so I gotta believe they'll eat a
Why
sand
not?
crab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that when I go to the boat. I want to try to catch my first keeper lingcod on a soft shell sand crabs. I'm gonna bring some soft shell sand crabs in the boat and I'm gonna drop it there.
All right. With that said, before June goes crazy and then starts sticking sand crabs and his hands down the mouths of lingcods, I think I gave my opinion, Massive Blast of Fishing, on Kalisa versus Lucky Craft. Hey, whatever answer you're gonna get from a YouTuber, just understand that we're getting free Kalisas left and right. So our answer is going to be Jade, no matter how objective we're going to be. Frank, I've had more luck with the Kalisa, but I think it's partially because I've been throwing it more than Lucky Craft, because you do feel indebted to produce content with a free lure. But I have to say, I have more luck casting a Kalisa consistently farther than a Lucky Craft, and hands down, they have better terminal tackle versus a Lucky Craft. Their hooks and their split rings are better out of the box. That's my opinion on that. So yeah, so man, this might be our longest show. Thanks again to Josh for chiming in. Congratulations again to Adam, Die Hard Fishing, for taking it
Yeah.
full time, man. Watch Adam,
Congrats,
Die
man.
Hard Fishing. The grind.
Morning.
The grind is
like I
about to
said,
begin.
June-ish, and I told Danny, the YouTuber Uber, boat master. But other than those
We're
three,
texting- we're
everyone else
texting him.
watching here is the first to find out.
Awesome. Yeah. So tell your wives, tell your husband, tell your friends. Adam is full time. Good
See you
luck,
on the
man.
water.
Good luck, man. We had Matt's queued up for the interview, but sadly, we're running out of time. I'm gonna have to bump you to next time, Mats. Thanks again for watching. Have a good night. Good luck,
Thanks for
Adam.
watching, guys. Good
See you
night.
guys on the water.
My daughter is
Bye.
crying right now. Bye bye.
Be safe, guys. Peace.
Yeah.
Safe.